Hello guys. The previous video lasted for the last episode, but actually I saw some code that needed to be done, so we postponed it in this video. And this video won't take long. And promise, this is the last video of the series. So the previous video we somehow configured that okay, we log in, we have the token in our hand. What we need now is just in this video we're going to add extra things, remaining things, remaining guard parts to the API gateway, and after that we are good to go. Okay, so we have token. We need to add guard. We need to add a request for me, which is like this. It's gonna be good like this, and I'm going to send the request as which is called me. Okay. So what is this me request going to do for us? It's going to go to return the user information for us, nothing else. Okay. So it's a type get. We don't need a body, and we need to add authorization header. We need to include the token inside the authorization, so it's gonna be here, I guess, yeah, token. So when we logged in, we actually have access to the token, so I just put the token here, and if I send the request, it will say, okay, 404. So account me, okay. So here it is. I'm going to add a new request called me, and it's gonna be me. So one more thing that we have to care about that. Okay, we are going to send a request called me here. So when we send this request, where is the token here? Yeah, the question is where is the token here? Okay. So just close it. So this is my me request, which there's a request here, but to access the headers, I have to just say come here, put the headers, yeah. So to access the headers, I just say okay, request set headers, nothing else. It's not that complicated, and just sending the headers to the server. Okay. So when it comes here, I have to go to my account service here. Must be here, yeah. So I have to just come here, copy the method, copy the me command, returns me. So me here, me is here. I'll just go to account service, open the controller, and it is me. Okay. So if I come to the API at rest, which is here, I will just check it now. Okay, is there access to the me or not? Yeah. So I just try to do this, and I guess it didn't update, in my opinion. So yeah, my bad. Sorry, my bad. I have to be get. Okay, refreshing. It did thinking, and we have error. Okay, unknown strategy JWT. So it says unknown strategy JWT. So come on, come here inside app modules. No, sorry, here it is. Yeah. So we have JWT strategy here. Maybe we defined it wrong. Oh yeah, we remember to. We forgot actually to change this. Right, it shouldn't be local, it's jwt. Waiting, sending the request. Okay, so it returns me when you request that. It returns I at exp, which is actually the time that the token will expire, and user information we omitted ID and the password from the result. You can omit IAT or exp, whatever you like. You can return inside the me function. I won't talk about this me and how it works because we talked about it in the previous video. That's it. Okay. So I just close this section. There are some things that you have to cover up right now, and it is this. So just close everything. We have a clean data. I come here. Okay. This me can be requested with anything. So how we can disable this? I mean, how we can just share, okay, if the user is not logged in, for example here, what will happen? It sends error, yeah, because it doesn't have that, yeah. So in order to solve these issues, you have to add some guard to the API gateway either, okay. So inside API gateway, I just close the content service. Inside SRC, I'm just going to create a folder, and I'm going to call it guards, and inside the guard, I'm going to add auth .guard.ts, yeah. And beside that, I'm going to add a new one, roles, to check the roles.guard.ts. Okay. So inside auth guard, we're going to actually this guard is different from the strategies that we have written at the top. So what does this guard have? Does it can activate method, predefined method. It has execution context, execution context. Am I right? I guess I'm wrong. Yeah, execution context. Sorry, and logger, which is up to you again. Inject. Okay, it is coming from the Nest.js command, and so because we will go to send the request to the server, to the account service, you have to add client proxy, proxy from Nest.js, and yeah, Nest.js microservices, and it's like this, I guess, yeah. One more thing, we're going to import the timeout, which I'm going to actually explain to you why we use the timeout. Okay. So we're going to actually export. You can just path this part, but or define it in other way. But I'm going to do it like this, which is more two-way to do. Actually, I will explain why we use this. Okay. So it's the client proxy, which is injected from the account service. And we're going to async can activate. So I'm going to do this because can activate is a method that we're going to call, which is again like the validate in the strategy. As you remember, this is a method that we're going to what they say that we're going to actually override. So I'm just going to try. We have access to the records context, and we are going to check. Okay, to check what? Okay, counts is authenticated. So authenticated. So we're going to check the user if the user is authenticated. Okay, then it will send. request to boolean here. Okay, we are going to send a command again to the account service called is authenticate. So this is our pattern name or command name. And another thing that we're going to send is sending the data. Okay, so let me push this guy inside the bracket and make this and remove this. Okay, so first left part is actually the command name, and the right part is the data. Okay, so what is the data? Is the JWT. I'm going to say in the header and authorization, but we're going to split by this. So what this is that is if our token is like your token, it is split it by space and just retrieve the token. Okay, just token, not the error. Okay. I'm going to have the catch right now, and yeah, okay. So as if we are not done, so the authenticated is called, and we're going to say if authenticated and authenticated is not null. I'm going to say I could just return the authenticated, but I'm just going to put the user inside the here. So it will just say, okay, authenticated is not a false or undefined thing, so it will be true always. Okay. And else return false. And inside the catching, you can just add. Sorry, you can just add inside the logger. You can log it. You can just console.log error if anything unexpected happened. Sorry. And we're just going to return false. We get to tell the user, okay, the user is not authenticated. One more thing. This request to the server may take a while. Okay, and because it's an attribute, sometimes it doesn't wait for the response. So in order to remove the that amount of time and make sure response come in inside time, we have to add timeout. Okay, and I just put it 5 seconds, but it's up to you. By the test, you will find out what's the right time, but you can just delete it. And if some error somehow happened, you can add it back. Okay. So what does this guy do? It says it says one got one. So let me think. I need to remember how was the syntax. So we send this, and I guess I have to remove the top. We have this. We have the pipe. We have to promise to return the boolean, and oh, it is deprecated. Deprecated. Yeah. So let's just do this, but let's see what happens. Okay. So it seems to be old right now. So this is our auth guard, and the same thing is going to happen for the roles guard. Just going to copy. So roles guard will watch if I can just copy. I guess I cannot copy. Yeah. The role guard is same as auth guard, but it's not only much for the user request, but it's for the available roles either. Okay, so it's quite same. Everything is same until here, but when you're going to check the user, we're going to check actually the user has this role or not. So we'll to achieve the required roles, we need to access the roles from the context that the auth here. Okay, I will show you when we set the roles, but imagine we have set roles here. Imagine a load roles are admin. Load roles admin and moderator, make it moderator. So in order to check the role, we have to just get the desired role here. Okay, so const roles equals these dot reflector. So we have to add the reflector here. Reflector, what the reflector does, it's actually that has access to the context parameters. Just that. So I have to go to add read only reflector, and it is coming from. It comes from core. Yeah. So from reflector, we're going to add get the inputs, which is type list string, list of roles, which we set it in controller. So role parameter comes from controller. Okay, so we'll watch it, and now it comes. So if roles is undefined, we're going to actually return true. So if there is not set any roles, okay, just return the true with access. Okay, and then we're going to send the request to the account service again and get a string. We can just call it check role or me even inside me. Let's call it me. Okay, and when we call me, as you remember, we had headers, and to access the headers, we have to say, okay, rec.headers, and just that. Yep, rec. Yeah. So how we can access the context? Just remove it. Maybe we don't need it here, I guess. Rec.headers. I'm thinking we can access those headers. Um, what we call this? Okay, let's call this user. We can just pass up one. So user has, imagine user has some roles. Okay, so const user roles. Sorry, roles will be equal to user dot roles. Okay, and does a boolean, so it will be any. Okay, and here we'll just check if the user has a role or not. So I'm just going to remove this and make it return. Return user roles dot include uh, include. So it is kind of a list. Okay, includes any, for example. Imagine we have a role called any, or user roles dot sum role includes. What does this? It means here. Just let me push them down to explain why. Imagine we allow this totally. Any means user access anything, and here we have two lists and we compare them to match only one item. Okay, so you have to better watch what does the functionality of sum does. Okay, yeah, just that. So sum includes role. Mm, so let's check. We have to just console.file user roles, user. Okay. And still the same thing is happening here too. So let me put an enter between this. Okay. So as you remember, in order to use the guards easier, we had add some what they say. How can I say that? In order to use these cards, I want to use to add some decorators. So what is a decorator? Let's come here, custom. We're going to add some decorator. Okay. So as we see, request, next, station, parameters, body. These all are the predefined decorators inside the controller that we can use, but we need to add some custom decorators. Like here, as you see, we need to access the roles from the controller. So in order to add the roles, we need to add decorator. Or to access the online user, again, from the auth card, we need to add decorator. So how is this possible? Let's see. I'm just going to add decorators here. I will go add user dot decorator dot this and role dot decorator dot ts. Okay, so I'm just going to check the user decorator. It will allow us to access the current online user inside anywhere we like just by using the decorator. So I need to add the current parent decorator and again execution context. Um, so I need to export const user. So when I use the user, it will return the online user to me. So when the user is not logged in, so it doesn't need, it will return null or something like that maybe, but will retrieve error. We'll see. Okay, to add end of this and yak. Okay. So we need to access the request context again, and as you remember, we put the user inside the auth card inside the request. So in user decorator, when I say request that return the request that user, we actually have access to user. It is pretty straightforward functioning, and it is easy to use. Okay, so I need to add the role decorator either. So role decorator is easy to just instead of this we have to set metadata. I'm just going to show you what are these. Okay, I just write what we need, some prerequisite things before continuing. So it says we have roles, we have decorator count roles, which is retrieves a list of roles and set the roles into metadata. And it helps us to access the list of these roles inside the reflector. And we'll check the roles comes from this decorator. Okay. So let's see how we can use them. So inside the account controller, we can use, for example, here, the most usable area is this. So when a request comes here, we got error. But if we use guard and use auth guard, we can actually tell that before coming to check, okay, there is me or get the data, check if the token is true or the user is authenticated or not. Okay. One more thing to check the user. Okay. For example, to check the role of the user, we can come here. Um, just copy it inside the normal control. Outside of that control, anywhere you can use it. Get access to source, which only admin or moderator can access. So I just call the root private access. Okay. So this root, this function can be accessed by anyone. Yeah. But if we just add the roles and make it admin and moderator, it will just allow admin or moderator access the function. Okay. So we need to add some more thing, and that we forgot in AuthGuard. If I go to guards in AuthGuard, it says we had to add a new function inside account service, which is called is authenticated. So come here, I just paste it, I just come here, and it is authenticated. So let me call it up. Okay, so how does authenticated function will work? How we can make it so much? A simple process that just tries to tell us if the user is authenticated or not. So in order to do that, I just come here and make this is authenticated. Yeah. And is authenticated doesn't receive any guard. It just authenticated with some header or something like that. So if we can just try to take the try catch, which will receive error, and I'll say why. So we receive the header of the token. So if we can just decode the token, so it actually tells us that the user is truly like this. Okay? We just have to decode the token, just that. So command.jw. As you remember, inside the auth guard, okay, cool. We send the JWT, which is our token, and inside the identity controller, I got the token, and I will validate that. Okay, so I will just return the false and return the rest. Okay, so if the valid token was false, it will throw error. I have to just now add the validate token. Validate token. Yeah. Okay. So I have to just try to somehow validate the token. And for this purpose, I'm going to use this.jwt. Yeah. And this time it will be verified. Okay. So if the JWT or our token is true token, it will just it will just return true without an error. If it verification was false, so it will throw error. Yeah. So account here, advanced authenticated is added, and just this. One more thing that we were missing here, auth card. Yeah. So in API Gateway, our auth card is having some trouble. So as you remember, here we added auth card or strategies inside the provider. So if I come to here, I have to just add auth card and role card. Yeah. And better to actually put them inside the app module. Yeah. And add them. Let me to add them. So if I add them, it will access in all modules, just not just here. Okay, so I can just delete them because we will use the roles card here, so we need to add them everywhere. Can also auth card in account service. Let me get this guy back. Maybe it does not sound that global. Cannot solve for auth card in account service. I'm thinking why it doesn't allow us to access the auth card. Maybe because let me think. It should give the access actually, but maybe we should do something like this. Provide and use class. Maybe as I remember, and it will be app card, not that. So this is role card, but the auth card is not being added here. So account module. Let me just copy this and put it inside app module. We didn't use auth card elsewhere, so we don't need to put them here. But where is auth really? Auth card, yeah. I'm just thinking where we should add. Let me check the errors. This kernels of dependencies are false guard because reflector account service. Okay, let me copy this part and put it here. And inside the, I guess, inside imports, I can have to come here and add the top clients module dot register. Yeah, that's true. Register. So we need to add access to the account service for other services either. And because of that, we have to just say name is account service. Transported route name queue. Options. Options are same as here. Okay, so I just need to remove this, and I guess that's it. So we needed to add access to the wrap name queue again. I'm just going to think about it, and it must be like this, transport dot. I'm not MQTT, sorry. Mm, RMQ, I guess. So it will some errors here, but so we have the error again. Dependencies roles card in account service. It is exported from a separator in scanner sub roles card. Let me come here, and I guess we don't need this here because it's more globally. Let's cover it up again. Auth guard. Okay, now it's pointing to the auth guard. So I'm thinking where we can access to this auth guard here. So somehow, let me come up. Let's go to the guards. We have our auth guard and how it uses that. New roles guard, app guard. Okay, we did the roles. What about auth guard? I guess let's go to the authentication. Auth guard here. Um, how we will use it? I'm just thinking right now. Maybe we used it wrong here. Maybe. Come to the account controller and use guard as auth guard without anything less, anything more. I'm just thinking, what did we do wrong? I'm thinking. Let me check the error again. It says it doesn't have access to the account module. This account service is not okay. Here, we have to just copy this and put it inside the account module either, I guess. So we come here and paste it here and do this. Well, in the future, we can put this guys inside the environment, so it won't be need to write them several times. And okay, so we somehow now have access to the guards here. I'm just going to find the REST API. Okay, and let me test this. And there's no matching message handler defined in the remote service. Let's run this again, the same error. So our guard is being called. I need to go to the guard, and the guard comes here. So I have to just go to console, calling guard, come to the great address, and it says calling guard and gets error. Okay, so let's copy this and paste it here. So if I call it again, yes. So message handler in the remote account service says, how about this? So do this, yeah. So if I take this forbidden source, because we didn't have the token, if I do this, again it's forbidden source. Okay, so it doesn't show the error, it just returns we don't have access. But because this part returns false, it just says, okay, you don't have the access, and the auth guard handles this information. So we added another request here to access private access. And I'm just going to find the API address. I'm just going to paste the URL, private access, and I will copy this. If something happens, then I don't know what is that. Okay, so I'll just put this guy here, and if I request this, it says forbidden source. It is because the roles doesn't match. So if I come here, we didn't set the roles, but we can customably uh, somehow inside the controller add some roles in the code. So when send request, it won't uh, make any extra coding, but some static role, we can just say. So imagine this. Right to this and roles with admin. Okay, and I come here and try to log in and copy the new access token and paste it here. Okay, and if I press this, it still tells us there's no role. So in order to solve that, I have to maybe because when we log in, we didn't say roles is equal to user dot roles. Okay, so I come here and we log in. I just copy the token, I paste the token, and I get the me, and we have the role admin here. So if I here again, and paste the new token, it says again forbidden. So let's check the parts for the role, maybe. So it comes too fast. So just do this, and at the top we can just copy this and checking roles, which is this roles, and uh, the user. Let's check the user. Okay. So if I send this, it says there is no matching handler defined in the roots. Okay. So the problem is this, that we're going to send the me again. He used the CMD, and it was my bad. And if I do this, it says hello world. Okay. So if you come down and change this role to admin 2, for example, it will not allow me. Okay. Yeah. So I get it back here, and everything seems to be working fine. One more thing that I forgot, which is extra And this is it. We need to actually somehow try to return the true error to the client. Okay, so in order to do that, we can add interceptors. So if I come to the interceptors, um, in the last video, actually, not this video, in the last video, we'll cover out interceptors and we'll show how to actually show the user the true error. Have a good time. Goodbye.